Hello everyone, welcome to the Gold Knights at the Round Table. I'm editor James A. Molnar. If you joined us for part 1 of our predictions, you heard us predict Best Original Score, Song, and among other categories. And for part 2, we're going to be discussing the top categories, including Acting, Directing, Screenplay, Best Picture, and how we think the co-hosts will fare. Take a look. Let's go first with Original Screenplay. I would say I'm going with King's Speech, with the idea that King's Speech is probably also going to win Best Picture.
This is between the King's Speech and the Social Network in most people's minds. For Best Picture, I would say the King's Speech. I think that should win Best Screenplay too, so yeah, King's Speech. I wouldn't mind seeing The Fighter, The Kids Are Alright taking it though.
Okay.
I like both.
I didn't see Another Year. I actually really want to. But just talking about the ones I did see, I don't know why the motion picture industry hates Christopher Nolan so much, but he, without a doubt, deserves this category. Just like I could never in a million years think and properly execute and then put out an idea like that. And to a point where most people who saw the movie understood it, to a point where they were comfortable with it. I just think it was a massive, stellar achievement, and I just hands down deserves to win. And when I think about these other ones, I don't understand what was special about the King's Speech screenplay or The Fighter, but Inception, definitely. Just, I don't know, how can you even write a movie like Inception? It blows my mind.
Well, I have seen Another Year, and I'm actually really disappointed that it's nominated because I expected more since it got nominations. But I did choose the King's Speech. I would actually love if Inception or The Kids Are Alright would take it. But the King's Speech, I think part of it has to do with how he had to have the actors commit to the words that were there, like having Colin Firth, stuttering to a degree that he actually got sick. And it was powerful. So I like that a lot.
It was really about the words, so it had to be a good screenplay, or else the movie would have fallen flat.
Let's talk about adapted screenplay. I don't know, but I would say Social Network definitely should win this category by the great Aaron Sorkin, and it seems like he is on track to win it.
Well, my pick that I wish would win would be Toy Story 3, of course. The Social Network, I think, is a lock for this category.
Okay. Heather?
Yeah.
Agreed. There's nothing much to say about it, The Social Network.
Yeah, this is actually a really fun category. It's so much better to me than original screenplay. They're all amazing. The Social Network, obviously, I'm not even going to try to contest that. I think the Toy Story 3 soundtrack was really good too. That's one thing that Pixar does, is that they don't write their movies just for kids. They write them for adults too, and I think it had a really good screenplay. And also, Winter's Bone had a really good screenplay too. Yeah, it's the Social Network.
Okay, let's go with director, and in this case, I'm going with David Fincher for The Social Network.
I think Christopher Nolan for instance. Oh, never mind. I think, David Fincher is going to win. I think he's been snubbed on a few of the amazing things he did. He didn't get nominated for Seven or Fight Club or any of those. He got nominated for Curious Case of Benjamin Button, but I definitely think that he's going to win. I think that directing a screenplay like Aaron Sorkin's and a story like The Social Network, I guess same thing, screenplay. It's actually, I think it'd be really challenging to make it as good as he did and as interesting as he did. And I definitely think that he's going to win.
I don't know. I would nominate 127 Hours before I would nominate Inception. But I think The Social Network, David Fincher is a pretty solid lock for this one.
I agree. I mean, I think if Christopher Nolan was in this category, I would want him to win. But I do think David Fincher is probably going to take it.
The Best Supporting Actress category, which, let's get into that. I'm predicting Melissa Leo for The Fighter.
Well, I think there would be two people I'd throw out of the category. It'd be Amy Adams and Jackie Weaver. And I'd replace them with Marion Cotillard for Inception, or Keira Knightley for Never Let Me Go, Mila Kunis for Black Swan. It's just, Jackie Weaver was in the background basically the whole time. Yeah, she turns up a creepy performance at times, and like she makes out with her sons, but she never reaches the degree that I think Haley Steinfeld or Helena Bonham Carter and Melissa Leo do in their roles. I said Haley Steinfeld for True Grit.
Actually, in the acting category, I think The Fighter is where it's all at. Luckily that they save whatever holes that the movie has, which really aren't that many. It's just not that good. But acting wise, it's amazing. Even Mark Wahlberg. I don't think it's nomination worthy, but I think all of them did an amazing job. The sisters in the supporting role, the coaches, all those people were just amazing in it. Melissa Leo is my winner still. I still want her to win. I think she gave the best performance, but I don't. But I don't know. There's a huge part of me that just doesn't want her to win.
But if I had to pick who I think will win, it would be Melissa Leo in The Fighter. I wish Haley Steinfeld would win for True Grit. That was the only performance of all these that really stood out for me.
So let's move on to Best Actress, and I would say Natalie Portman for Black Swan.
Yes, I would say Natalie Portman also. I think of the nominated people, she should win also, and she will win.
It's been really fun to watch Natalie Portman go from, emotionless Queen Amidala to being a legitimate actress. I think a lot of people have a criticism. They say that, she doesn't have a lot of emotions or she always does the same person. And I think that she still was doing her, Natalie Portman thing in Black Swan, but it was also at the same time, it was she's crazy and she's having lesbian sex. And I think she did really commit herself to the role. Personally, though, I think that Annette Bening deserves the Oscar, but she's old enough and mature enough and graceful enough to take it in stride.
No, I'm going to say Natalie Portman, too. I think she was the only, really, well, her and Mila Kunis, I think they were the two shining stars of the movie. I wasn't really happy with the movie. I've said that before. It's not in my top 10 at all. But I agree. Annette Bening had just such a nuanced performance. And
now let's go to supporting actor. I would, my pick is Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale in The Fighter was my favorite performance of the year in any supporting or lead actor role. Christian Bale for The Fighter should take it, and he will take it too.
Christian Bale, thank whatever higher power you believe in that he is nominated this year, because he physically commits himself to his roles crazy. And I think that just for what he's willing to go through to get into a role, even if it's not the best movie or the most amazing performance, he's just been snubbed for a nomination. I think just for what he did in The Machinist and American Psycho, I think that those were nomination-worthy performances. Maybe not win-worthy, but definitely nomination-worthy. So I'm glad that he's up this year.
I totally agree. Christian Bale, he did The Machinist where he lost all that weight to play the insomniac. Rescue Dawn, he goes from a really thick guy to a really, really thin guy. And he transforms himself completely, and I just really love that about him.
So okay, for Best Actor, I think it's pretty much all swept up with Colin Firth. He's probably another 90%er or higher.
I'm sticking with Colin Firth. I said him at the Golden Globes as well. Just the way he had to stutter. It's just to commit and keep going. And his performance was just powerful, and just seeing his facial expressions when he's trying to talk. It's all about the speech. And he's just perfect.
Yeah, Colin Firth for The King's Speech, I thought. I haven't seen Beautiful, so I can't speak to his performance in that, to Javier Bardem in that, but I think Colin Firth, definitely.
Yeah, Colin Firth, hands down. He just gives an amazing performance, and the stuttering speaks for itself. That's amazing too. But just the way you see these emotions and this fear and worry just wash over his face when he's about to give a speech or when he's put into some hard situation. And I don't know. I just think Colin Firth is such a good actor, and I'm so glad that he's finally getting the recognition that he deserves. Last year he was amazing in The Single Man. This year he's amazing in The King's Speech, and I hope that this is a new era of Colin Firthism that I wish to immerse myself in.
But yes, I'm going with The King's Speech, and so let's start with Heather. What are your thoughts on Best Picture?
I'm sticking with The King's Speech. I know it's a race between The Social Network and The King's Speech. It's coming down to that. And I just prefer The King's Speech to The Social Network. If I was going to choose my own personal second favorite, I'd choose Inception or The Kids Are All Right. Yeah, King's Speech.
Ever since last year, I always think, like, okay, which 5 don't deserve to get nominated? True Grit, 127 Hours, The Kids Are All Right, The Fighter, and Toy Story 3. I think people would contest me on 127 Hours and True Grit, but I think that you're considering, like, the horror of, like, incredible filmmakers, and I think that this isn't, like, the best thing that they've put out, respectively, Coen Brothers or Danny Boyle. But I think, personally, even though, like, The King's Speech could win, I still want The Social Network to win. I think The Social Network should win. I'll be really happy if The Social Network does win. I'll be sort of happy if The King's Speech wins, but I just don't have a lot of love for biopics. And The Social Network is just the type of movie that only David Fincher could, like, pull off. And I just think that The Social Network, hands down, should win, and I hope it's going to.
I think of the 10, my favorite was Toy Story 3. Of the 2 of King's Speech and Social Network, King's Speech was my favorite, but I think The Social Network will definitely win.
All right, so we're evenly split. Now, is there anything we're looking forward to at the ceremony? For example, James Franco and Anne Hathaway. I think they're both going to maybe do a song and dance number, so...
I like James Franco, and I would like to see him host it maybe by himself. I'm not sure Anne Hathaway is all that funny, though. Has she done anything apart from maybe a couple romantic comedies?
Well, she's really good on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Was she?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's a comedian, I think. And I'm the opposite. I don't like James Franco, but I love Anne Hathaway, and I think they'll be fun and interesting together and cute. I still think that, like, a hardcore real media comedian should host it every year.
Do we have to have someone who's kind of been in movies host the Academy Awards? It's kind of like that, or do we just bring in an outsider?
I think it should always be someone with, like, a widely accepted comedic background, It's like people look at these people as funny people, whether they're actors or media people or talk show hosts or whatever, or you could, like, someone like Whoopi Goldberg who can do it all, like someone who you go into and you're like, oh yeah, they're funny. Not like, James Franco and Anne Hathaway, we have to, like, are they funny? Like, have they, I don't know, Like, I'm sure they both are. Then James Franco is funny on SNL, Anne Hathaway is funny on SNL, and we think that that's a good, like thing to look at if you're going to wonder if they're going to be funny or not. But I just hated Hugh Jackman. I thought that was such a bad idea. And ever since then, I'm like, no, don't have actors. Have, like, comedians.
And that's part 2 of our discussion at the round table for the 83rd Academy Awards. We hope you'll join us all Oscar weekend long at thegoldnight.com for coverage live from LA. We hope you'll join us for that, and if you'd like to see all of our predictions in 24 categories, you can go to thegoldnight.com and click on Prediction Central, where you can download our ballot that you can fill out throughout the night and compare to see how you fared with our predictions. Until next time, I'm James Molnar. Bye for now.